Welcome to the Blended Learning short course. May I say, your blended learning journey starts here. And why I say that is because we are standing in front of the Center for Learning Technologies. And as you can see on the sign, it also says Telemetric Services, which were the precursor of the Center. A little bit of history is the Center started in October 2013 when a focus on learning technologies or ICTs in learning and teaching became important to the university. So we had the Center created to integrate all the use of technology for learning and teaching. So we like to see the Center as a home for learning technologies. And our Center is also responsible for facilitating and designing, planning the Blended Learning short course, which proved to be quite valuable to the university over the last couple of years. We are revamping the course, and this is just a bit of an introduction to where everything started. Our vision at the Center is that we strive to inspire the meaningful and innovative use of technology for learning. So from here, I'm going to take you to our Telemetric studio, which many of you might not have seen, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Right, so welcome. As promised, we are now in the heart of our Center, which is the Telemetric broadcast studio. You see I'm surrounded by cameras, screens. At the back you can see the control room of the Telemetric studio. And on the side here we've got an informal set and a more formal set where lecturers and lots of people have come over the years to facilitate learning in this way. Why I start here is because the telematic services and the programs have always thought over the years as the work being of a blended nature, a blended approach with the satellite, on-campus learning management system and the way it integrates. So this Center, this course comes from a proud history of thinking about how we integrate technologies into our teaching and learning, the programs, etc. What I wanted to say is that how the Center fits into the Stellenbosch University context as well as the short course is it all starts with a strategy for ICTs in learning and teaching, which is information communication technologies in learning and teaching, how to judiciously, meaningfully integrate those technologies. That's where it all started. The other thing I want to say is that we work closely with our sister center, which is the Center for Teaching and Learning, or SOL as it is known. And with them, we also work on the PREDAC program, or PRONTAC as it is known, and giving our very specific focus there around the use of technologies in teaching and learning. We also see ourselves as part of the professional learning cycle of all academics at this university, and we work closely with them on the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning annual conference. So what I hope you see is that it is all integrated into a bigger plan. But for our Center, one of our flagship products around teaching and learning is this Blended Learning short course. And so that's why I wanted to welcome you as well from the Center itself. Now around the short course, I'm going to talk about that very, very shortly in my office, which you will see next. But a recent report and an evaluation report that we did on the short course has shown that it does provide lots of value for academics, for lecturers. It is theory-based, but also very practical. Many people say they've overcome their fear of technology, which is, I guess, not quite a big feat for many people. And lastly, it creates a community of practitioners that are like-minded and that support each other going forward. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the short course, but for that, you'll have to come to my office. So, welcome in my office, and I've brought you here because this is where it all happens, or where it all happened, where it all started. And I wanted to show you my glass board because this is where we designed this whole short course, and as you can see it became quite intricate, so hopefully what we have for you on offer is something quite coherent and hopefully powerful, because we want you to grow into powerful knowledge, skills and attitudes around blended learning. First of all, I want to describe to you where blended learning fits in, broadly speaking. Now, in one of the modules, in the first module or the first week, we will go into depth about that, but I think it's important to place it in the context of learning. So the question is, what is learning? And it's a bit contested, but what has been shown is that you have approaches more from psychology, which sees learning as a very individual kind of thing. It's something that happens in the mind, in the life of an individual, and that's maybe a more traditional understanding of learning. We also know from the sociology side and the education side, the sociology of education side, that learning has also a social side where we learn with other people in certain contexts, etc. So where we come from, who we are, is just as important as what kind of skills and intelligence, as it were, we have for learning. What we are doing at Stellenbosch University, and we really subscribe to this idea, is to not choose the one or the other, but create a more holistic understanding of learning. And you know, teaching is the flip side of learning. So if we look at the design of learning experiences, learning environments, then we should think about designing experiences that creates the possibility of individual learning, that creates the possibility of social learning. That's at the very basic. So we have a holistic approach. And this is where a blended learning pedagogy or approach comes in, because to our understanding, blended learning means that we are blending lots of different things in a way that makes the curriculum more rich and creates a richer, basically, learning experience for the student. So a blended learning approach tries to integrate, and therefore it also has a space, and it has a little pigeonhole, not pigeonhole, but an approach that incorporates learning technologies, ICTs, fully, and that's what we want. Of course, it needs to be meaningfully integrated, not just slap technologies on, and what we are saying as a refrain is that the pedagogy, our teaching and learning planning approach, how we see our students, how we see the curriculum, that is first, and how learning technologies support what we want to reach with our learning designs, that is basically what is important. So I wanted to take you just shortly through the short course, how it was envisioned and how hopefully you will also experience it. So as you can see here, we planned 7 weeks with week 1 and week 6 containing 2 workshops. It's almost the start off and the end will be face-to-face, physically present. We will work together. So in workshop 1 and week 1, we'll concentrate on your teaching, on your module, and we'll start with a theoretical base for what we are doing in blended learning. And then from week 2 to 5, we will look at different, very practical, but theory-based, but practical skills around the use of certain learning technologies. And I'm thinking about making your own videos, using iSpring to create interactive materials and content, even incorporating little quizzes. Then we have working with all the wonderful Google tools that allows one to be more collaborative in your teaching and your learning. And lastly, we also focus on e-assessment. So in week 1, we're going to try and get you involved, excited about the possibilities. Then you're also going to see maybe where your needs are for learning certain skills. And then from week 2 to 5, you will be learning new skills to be able to use. And then in week 6, we're going to have another workshop where we, with support and with everybody present that can possibly help you, to really design something new, something exciting, maybe even something transformative for your own students and maybe even for yourself. In week 7 is wrap up, and we give you a chance to do the capstone assignment. So yeah, that is in a nutshell. There's one more place I want you to visit on this short journey, and that is a place where we'll talk about support for this whole blended learning initiative as well as for the course. So I'll see you in our open space. Right, so we are in the back office of our center. This is where everything happens. And this is the question about the sustainability of our blended learning. This is a question we get often. How do we make this whole thing sustainable? And our approach is to make it sustainable through support. There's lots of training opportunities and the short course, as you know, but somebody to help you afterwards, I think, is just as important as somebody who starts helping you get on the journey towards being a blended learning practitioner. The support starts in your faculties, actually, because all the faculties have some kind of blended learning coordinator, some kind of blended learning support that is part of the faculty structure within the teaching and learning hub. And it's also different in different faculties, but the point is there is somebody to help you in your own faculty, and we'll introduce you to all those people. Then we have also our advisors in the Center for Learning Technologies that can consult with you, can plan, especially maybe if it's bigger projects, also around new programs. Come to our center and let's start that conversation and that discussion. But then there is also technical support. For the course specifically, we have a technical facilitator that can help with all the software and the headsets and all the things that you will get and that you will need to learn. But then also afterwards, for all the learning technology systems, there is a support team available that you can phone, that you can email, that you can even come and pop in at to get the support that you need. So I want to end off this little welcome video with saying good luck, and then also saying that you are going to invest, and you are investing lots of your precious time in doing this course, which is a certificate-based course. But remember that it's investment that's worthwhile. If I think about the new strategy for the reward and recognition of good teaching, this experience that you are giving yourself and these new skills and this new journey that you're going to place yourself on will really come, I think, will serve you in the future, especially around this whole idea of rewarding and recognizing good teaching. So best of luck with the course, and we look forward to seeing you together on this journey into the future. Thank you.